How's it going, everyone? And I'm giving my thoughts on the new TV spot in which it shows Superman flying. And of course, this 5-second clip has caused a ton of controversy, a ton of arguments and debates on the internet. And that's because people don't like this. People don't like the way he is flying and the effects here. Now, some people do. And some people are defending James Gunn, and there are people who will defend anything James Gunn does. That no matter what, even if you call them out on it, they will just always defend James Gunn no matter what and say his films are great. But we get this close-up shot of Superman flying, and something is off about this. You know, his face is just off. Something is weird about it. Some say it's because it looks like AI or CG, and I think that just might be the case. His eye here is what's throwing me off. Him, squinting in one eye and having the other eye completely open. Like, his face is very stoic looking, which, is of course fitting for Superman flying, but having his one eye be squinting, it just throws it off. It throws off the symmetry. His eye just looks like it's facing another way than his other one. It just looks off, and the scene itself, like, at times it looks fine, and then other times it looks like a video game, and this front shot image of him looks like a video game. It looks like a PS4 game or something like that, and it's just off-putting, and I don't know why James Gunn is trying to do this, because it didn't work in Guardians of the Galaxy when he had Adam Warlock flying, with this weird fisheye lens look of him flying. Like, everyone was saying how, oh, this scene shows he can do Superman. But I just thought this right here is just off-putting, and that itself reminded me of Black Adam, which is not a good thing. And this became a massive meme of Black Adam just, like, speeding towards the jet that he was chasing after, in this weird, again, fisheye looking lens. Just his expression and everything like that. And Gunn did it for Adam Warlock, and apparently no one complained. No one called it out, at least as far as I saw. Everyone was just saying, oh, see, he did this cool flight, so he'll do Superman really well. And, he's doing it, and it just looks bad. The only time I saw a super close-up shot of a Superman flying or anyone like that flying is in Man of Steel, 2013. And these scenes, they actually serve a purpose. It's showing Superman's reaction to flying for the first time. Here, he's struggling, but he's clearly loving it. Here, he's getting into it. He's learned it, he's confident, and he's smiling, and he absolutely loves it. And, that was just before he kind of goes into his more serious, stern look as he then just takes off into space. Like, this looks cool. This is a great shot. It's something you could make as a, wallpaper or something. I think they even use this as, for the poster for the film. I could be wrong, but it looks very similar. And this just looks like how Superman should be when he's flying. And again, they're very similar. Both are front-facing close-ups of the character. Yeah, he has his arm out, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. Point is, he doesn't look like he's in some sort of weird fisheye lens. And it's just, again, this is just off. And it's off-putting for a lot of people. Christopher Reeve obviously has iconic Superman flight. Yeah, it's a bit outdated. Yeah, it's a bit hokey. But it's iconic, and it set the standard. Tyler Hoechlin in Superman and Lois looks cool, looks great. And this is on a television budget. I don't get how a TV show, a high-quality TV show, no doubt, but a television series, and here he has the same pose, arms, behind his back, well, not behind his back, but his arms are to the side. This looks more like Superman than that. And just straight up, there's just the only people who are defending this are the James Gunn shills and the Superman fanboys who just desperately want this movie to be good, and I want this movie to be good. But I'm also going to be honest with myself. When James Gunn was first announced to do Superman, I was skeptical because I wasn't a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought the first one was just okay, a bit boring at times, and I don't enjoy rewatching it. I thought Guardians Volume 2 was really bad, and I haven't really gotten through Guardians 3. I have, mixed thoughts on Guardians 3. I mean to just watch the whole thing through before forming my complete opinion. I did not care for The Suicide Squad, his, semi-reboot sequel. I didn't think it really improved on anything the first Suicide Squad did, and I thought it was incredibly derivative of the first one, which I know might sound weird because it's a sequel, even though really it's trying to be sort of a standalone reboot, just kind of doing its own thing, and yet he copied so many elements from that, and just did it in some ways a lot worse than Suicide Squad. I didn't think his humor and his snarky, attitudes, in his films would fit Superman, because, when you think of it, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Creature Commando, his 2 HBO Max series, they're all the same. They're all about anti-hero villains who are a ragtag group, thrown together as a team, and they got to work together to save the world, and of course they learn about the spirit of friendship or family or something like that. I was just thinking, how's this going to fit for a Superman movie? And there were already problems that I had with the cast being too big and including characters like Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner, who have no place being there. And here this just further, confirms that my suspicion that I don't think Gunn can make a good Superman movie. That the effects are just off, even though he's obviously an experienced filmmaker. And he obviously has made big budget films with Marvel. But the trailer and this TV spot and this flight, it's hard for me to have any sort of hope for it. And at this point, I can't even really say if this film will be a flop or not. Because quite frankly, Gunn fans will just make up excuses no matter what. Whenever you bring up that Suicide Squad was a flop, compared to the first one especially, they try to, bring up the pandemic and all of that, even though it came out around the time that the pandemic was mostly ended. And if you compare it to Black Widow, which had a similar release period and, also was a same-day streaming thing, it made a lot more money at the box office, even though it was technically a financial disappointment. And, people's point is people just didn't want to see the Suicide Squad, despite all the praise, despite, getting like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes or something. People weren't interested. And I didn't understand why David Zasloff, I think it was, either him or Ken Kamada, doesn't really matter, but I don't understand why Warner Bros. Decided to make him the CEO of DC Studios, and then he goes in and he wants to make Superman, and it just seems like he's just not succeeding at it. And you can say what you want about Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's films, you can say what you want about BVS. Everyone who watched the trailers for those movies was blown away. Everyone was hyped for them. Everyone was excited for them. With Gunn, every trailer he puts out, it seemingly gets more and more divisive. People aren't excited for this movie. People aren't looking forward to it. Maybe some people are, but the point is that it is still very divisive, and Gunn's not doing a good job marketing this, or even if it's not him directly, Warner Brothers isn't doing a good job marketing this, and all Gunn can do is just sit around and put on X or Instagram or whatever telling us what this film will totally be about. And of course, that's just not how you present a film. You don't need to spell out everything for us. And what he is showing is not good. This is not A-grade material. And you can say that maybe they'll fix the effects by the time the film comes out. This is still a not good impression. This is a bad impression. We've had like 5 different first impressions of this character. They've all been divisive to bad. And there's only so many times that you can keep showing stuff like this and keep people's goodwill. And again, I don't know if this film is going to be a financial success or not. It could do just decent enough but still be considered a box office disappointment. Like, it makes its money back, but it's not really profitable. Or it could just be a total flop altogether. And if I'm honest, I think it'll probably end up in a Superman Returns range, where it'll make some money, but in comparison to its budget, whatever that will be, it's probably not going to be enough for Warner Brothers to decide to go forward with the DCU. And of course, that's problematic because they're already filming Supergirl, and I don't know what they would do then. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is a good look for James Gunn and Superman? Or do you think it's a bad look? And could they fix it by the time the film comes out? I'll see you guys next time.